Good morning, Darcy. So I know a lot of people are getting ready to go live, but I wanted to say a few things. Hey, Miss Leah, how are you today, darling? Um, I'm freaking out over some of the things that I've heard, coming from last night, yesterday, yada, yada. Hey, frustrated lurker. Good morning, Sandy. My love. Um, you know, a drama community is just that drama. But hey, Remy, but when you get people trying to silence people by threatening to dox them if you support, let's say, Diane, for instance, or for Wendy, for instance, that's where I have a huge issue. That's not drama anymore. Are you guys proud to threaten to dox people just because they don't believe in what you believe in? I literally heard last night that if you support Diane or Wendy, you're going to get doxxed. Your mugshots are going to get shown. I am completely dumbfounded by this. I am appalled to even be a part of a community that's doing shit like this. It's sad and it's disgusting. Do you guys really want to be known as doxers? You know that people aren't going to ever trust you, and they actually only watch you for the shit show. It's gross. Let me also add, even though I don't condone what Diane has done, I need to let you all know that she is not on Reddit. That's somebody pretending to be her. But y'all are going with it like you got some goods on her. Get them views. BSJ, run with it. Have fun with it. You got Brian over there who's sticking up for Molly so much that he's basically saying people deserve to be doxxed. Their information deserves to be out there. Their mugshots deserve to be out there. Really, Brian? You've never changed. You're still the same asshole you were before. And I mean that wholeheartedly. I do. I'm going to say this now. I 100% believe in Wendy. She is somebody that I admire. She is somebody that I look up to. Okay, here. Let's see what this person says. Anything that's public record isn't a dox. You know what? It might not be a dox, whatever, but we should all have the common courtesy in this community not to do that. Don't you want this community to be better? Don't tell me to stop. And I know nobody's a saint here. God knows I'm not a saint. I'm sure half you motherfuckers have looked me up. Y'all know that I'm no saint. But we can do better. We can be better. Good morning, Coffee with CC. How are you? Frustrated lurker, which part's not necessarily true? I mean, I think it's a dox if you're putting out information. I don't care if it's public or not. It can still harm people, you guys. People, there's assholes grimy, trashy people in this community. LCD. And he'll save that information. And then if you go against him or one of his friends, he'll be the first to use it and put out every bit of information he has on you. Good morning, Dirk Pickler. We should have enough respect for one another not to be doing these things, not to be doxing people's criminal records or putting out their mugshots. Stop. Be the change you want to see. And no, I'm not perfect. I've done some shady shit. I have. But I don't want to be that person anymore. And I haven't been that person in a long time. M's. She said, I'd say they're more like a taint than a saint. You know, I'm not going to knock somebody's religion. I'm not. But if you're going to be sitting and doing these videos implying that people deserve to be doxxed, that's not very Christian. That's not very religious. Good morning, Winky Whispers. I love you, newlywed. It's not okay, guys. Come on. You guys can do better. You can be better. And Bombshell, you're an asshole, dude. You need to quit calling people names. You need to quit telling them that they're fat. You need to quit acting like you're holier than thou because you're one of the biggest fucking doxers in this community and you're proud of it. That's gross. I just want you to know that that's gross. And I don't give a shit if you come for me and try to dox my information. Lord, it's been done more times than I can count. And the intimidation tactics. Well, if you talk about this, then I'm going to drop this mugshot or that mugshot. Why are y'all trying to intimidate people? Why are you trying to silence people? Look, I am not on Diane's team. I'm very disappointed in the things that have happened, okay? But I'm not going to go after her and show all of her information. I'm not going to show her partner's information. I'm not going to sit there and stalk her everywhere she goes. I'm not going to be like Laura and say that there's been somebody sitting outside by her house for 3 days. That's disgusting. And it's obsessive. And I'm going to stick to what I'm saying. You know, these lives and these videos keep going up and they're being put up because of the views they're getting. They're not doing it out of the kindness of their heart or try to help. They're doing it because they're getting views. They're getting mad super chats. Just stop. If you don't want to support Diane, then leave her alone. If you don't want to support Wendy, leave her alone. If you don't want to support Randy, leave Randy alone and quit calling her vulgar names. Quit making fun of her accent. Quit calling people inbreds. It's bullshit. Just because somebody, is Southern does not mean that they're inbred. Damn. Good morning, Denise P. How are you? And I'm not trying to come off like I'm mad or anything. I've had a really bad week, outside of YouTube. But I do believe in the people that are here on YouTube. And I believe if people would just listen to me, no, not because I'm perfect or because I'm a saint or any of that, but we can do better because we are better. Excuse me. There have been bigger YouTubers literally say that this whole community is trash, that this is the bottom of the barrel. And you know what? Hearing that really made me think, oh my God, we are. Here we are showing private messages, which that shit needs to stop too. Sandy, it's okay. You know, life happens. This too shall pass. Hey, sweet Melissa. Yeah, MGL keeps calling people inbreds, and it's disgusting. There's a lot we could say about you, Molly, but we haven't because we're not trashy like you. I don't care how much money you have. Just because you have money doesn't mean you're not trash. Good morning, Charlie Girl says. How are you, darling? You know what? Frustrated lurker, I feel bad too. I really do. You know, I've been threatened recently. I have had threats. Okay, maybe I should make a video out of this because I cannot figure out who this person is. But they literally said they was gonna have a wellness check done on my dogs. Leave my dogs alone. They are healthy, they are happy, and they are loved. My house is clean. My son, don't ever threaten to call CPS on me again. So help me God. My son is a happy, healthy kid. Hi, Sarah. Good morning. You know I said it the other day, but damn, you guys, it doesn't hurt the person you're calling on. It hurts the children. It leaves them confused. It leaves them scared. It can literally give them PTSD. They don't deserve that. Okay, Remy, maybe I said that wrong. I'll have to go back at the comment and look. They said they're going to call the SPCA on me to make sure that my dogs are taken care of. So I just figured that's a wellness check. I don't know. Yeah, Bomb. She's proud of the doxes she does. She thinks that makes her look intimidating, big, and bad. Nah, Bombshell, you ain't nothing but an asshole. That's all you are. Good morning, Shauna. How are you, darling? Would anybody like to come up and talk? I'm I'm not the best at doing these lives by myself. I always like to have a partner up here with me. My old partner and I, we went separate ways. So I'm kind of looking for a new one if anyone's ever interested. Yeah, she's absolutely trying to be relevant. How did she like it when people went after her? She didn't like it at all. But here she is going after people. Help me make that make sense. Hey, Bailey Vexed. I love you, lady. I miss a lot that goes on YouTube, especially recently. I don't want to get into some of the things that are going on in my personal life, but man, I'm telling you what, I'm about to crack, and this shit going on here isn't helping because I care about a lot of people that are being threatened. And some of the people that are doing these threats, I actually cared for at one point, and I'm so disappointed that they're acting the way they are. I'm sitting here like, okay, you guys exposed Diane. Congratulations. Can't you move on to something else? And why do you guys keep implying that Wendy's a part of that? Wendy never knew anything about the money. Okay. How many times does she have to say that? How many times do other people have to say it for her? Leave it alone. Move on to someone else. Quit stalking people. Quit saying that, you know, we're sitting outside of your house and have been for 3 days. God, that's so obsessive. And it's weird. I mean, I guess it's not that weird for Laura because she's pretty fucking weird. Let's be honest here. How are you doing this morning, Shauna? Creators making recorded phone calls on other creators. Yeah, they have. And I haven't. Now, have I gotten a hold of recorded calls? I did. You know, I got someone gave me a recorded call of Laura and Wog, or about Wog. I didn't do that though, and I'm not about to expose who did. So if you want to blame that on me, go ahead. I know in my heart that I didn't do it. Um, Actually, I wasn't even on that call, so I don't know. I realized that TC is used to doxing people out, but I never get used to sharing private information. Yeah, the private information needs to stop. Like, certain people are showing private messages on their channels. Why? Are the views really worth it to do that? People are never going to trust you, man. If as long as you're sitting there showing private messages that people have written you, stop doing that. Yeah, Dirk Pickler, what Laura did to Wog was absolutely disgusting. You're right. Nope, she sure didn't. Wendy had nothing to do with that. Yet everybody is grouping her in with Diane because Wendy was a co-host to her channel. Same with Randy. There was times that Randy was a co-host to that channel too. Don't put the blame on them. They've came out and admitted that they didn't know. But you guys still want to drag them, call them names. Why? Why? What have they ever actually done to you to make you call them names like that? Do some of you like it when people call you names? I'm sure you don't. So why do you do it to others? You know, fat shaming people is wrong. That shit needs to stop. Making fun of someone because they might have an accent is disgusting and it's wrong. Why are you so out of breath? Because I've got some issues going on. Fat boy, fat boy. That's why. I haven't had my inhaler and I couldn't tell you how long. Is that a good answer for you? Asshole. I've got a lot of personal problems going on that I'm not going to share. So maybe that's why I'm out of breath. Maybe that's why I had to stop smoking. But I'm not going to come online and beg for sympathy because I got some issues that are going on. Thank you, Dirk. I'm trying to take care of myself. It's been a while it's been over a year since I've smoked. Well, almost a year since I stopped smoking. And I still need to get away from the vapes. It's easier said than done. And, you know, I don't know. Anastasia, if you don't mind me speaking, I think some people have issues with Wendy because how she's now acting. Her first live, she was she was talking about a community post, and it was too soon. I think when Wendy went live, she wanted to reassure people that she had no idea where that money went. She wanted people to know that. She wanted people to know the truth. I've never known Wendy to lie. And a lot of people in this community will agree with me on that. She doesn't want to be around anything scandalous. So she branched off and now she's doing her own thing. And people still won't leave her alone. People are still going after her. Sandy, she did. She did apologize for jumping the gun. She just wants full transparency. Yeah. Polyester jumpers, true crime, community wear. I love polyester jumpers. She's so funny. I love that girl to death. Bailey Vex says, I have tried and I'm finding it near impossible to quit smoking. It's hard. I'm not going to lie. Like the day that I quit smoking, I started vaping because I thought that was going to be so much better for me. And it hasn't been. Like, I don't know. It just, I don't think it's been better for me at all. True crime community where the true crimes are committed. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know if I can sit there and definitively say that what Diane has done is a crime. Um, I don't know. Like I don't think it is. Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with St. Jude stuff. I don't want to know. I know that I've donated money to Diane and I don't want to see receipts. That's just me though. Other people do. I don't. I just know that there's certain places I'm not going to be donating to anymore. I don't have it to donate. So I don't know. I mean, I'm disappointed and I'm sad that things have turned out the way they have. Like, I fully believed in Diane. I did. And I would have laid money down. I know that people say YouTube isn't real life, but it kind of is because real life feelings get hurt. Real life people get hurt. So it is real life. I've met some amazing people on YouTube, and I know all of you have too. So it does hurt when you find out that people are not being fully transparent. You know, this whole mess has hurt me. I mean, there's people that I don't really care for that I know is hurting. And I still feel bad for them because I do have compassion for what others feel or how they think. I don't consider anybody on here an enemy. I may dislike you, but I don't hate you. I may dislike you, but I don't consider you an enemy. You know, Remy, I wanted to too. You know, I mean, I don't I don't hate her. I'm never going to hate her. Um I'm just disappointed. And it makes me sad. Oh my gosh. Speaking of snow, we have got the most snow here in Beaver Creek, Ohio. There, I just doxed. Everybody knows where I live anyway, so it's not a big deal. We have so much snow. We have not seen this kind of snow for years. I kind of enjoy it, actually. I like snow. My son, he's ecstatic. He had this is his second day off, so he's pretty happy. Yes, Shauna, I would love for you to come up. Let me see. Let me post a comment. See, I told you, you guys, I'm not good at doing this on my own. I'll typically start rambling and talking about the same thing over and over. Wait a minute. Did it post? Oh no. Oh, there it is. Oh, it did post. Look, I am a ditz. I'm proud of it. I can't walk a straight line. So y'all can make fun of me for that too. Hey, Smokey P, how are you doing? It is cold. It's actually freezing. I took some trash out to the trash can this morning and whoo, there were so many of us that prayed she came with proof. And yeah, and you know what? And that's why I'm hurt as well, because I wish she had have shown some proof. I wish she would have just shown it so it hadn't have snowballed into what it has. I completely understand what you're saying, but were you telling Diane, Wendy, and Randy? Oh, polyester jumpers, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you for staying strong to your convictions and having childlike faith. That is, man, I need my glasses on. I can't hardly read. I don't know. I'm sad, you know. I'm not like my happy, perky self because life isn't always happy. Life isn't always, sunshine and rainbows. Um, I can literally feel people's pain when it comes to this. And I hate that there's innocent bystanders that are being threatened. And that sucks. And that's sad because none of those people deserve it. Okay, back to this comment. I completely understand what you're saying, but were you telling Diane, Wendy, and Randy the same message when they spent 3 years dragging people and going real life. Serious question. Um, no, I didn't. Um, you know, the past 3 years, I've not been close friends with Randy, Diane, or Wendy. Um, it's not all Diane, Wendy, and Randy dragging people. I keep seeing people say, well, Diane and Wendy, they dragged Laura for years and years and years. No, they didn't. Laura dragged them too. It goes both ways. Laura is no victim in this. I heard her say that she wanted vindication out of all of this. Good morning, Shauna.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm okay. Can you hear me okay? Is there an echo or anything?
No, I do not hear an echo.
I wanted to speak, if you don't mind, real quick, on this
Oh,
sort of
please do.
villainizing.
Please do.
I'm seeing a lot of people who are trying to villainize people who are in discords with Diane or who supported Diane, not really even taking into consideration the idea that people might just support her with the ability of calling out her bad behavior or the mistakes that she made through all this. Like it sickens me that people can um, just be judge, jury, and executioner for everybody involved. We all don't work with the same morality pattern, and we all don't have the same beliefs and standards. And it's not really fair for me to hold my standards against yours, for example, and to think that you should act the way I think you should act.
Right.
And it just makes me, when I say witch hunt, that's kind of what I mean. That's kind of what it feels like. It's like there's no satisfying you because someone's not acting the way you think we should act, or we're not calling Diane out the way you think we should call Diane out. All of a sudden, we're supporters of these really bad things, and we don't care about children, and we deserve to be threatened and doxxed and have wellness checks on our animals. Like that whole thing is just really disgusting, and it frustrates me and it pisses me off. And that's the sort of like cancel culture mom mentality that we deal with today on the internet that
Mm-hmm.
uh, I think goes so much deeper than just saying someone's bad or someone's done something bad. Like, I'm not really sure what people want to happen or want to see happen. I just watched a stream where someone was literally reading out people who were in discords. I mean, I remember
Yeah.
I'd been in someone's discord way before all this shit started, and Diane happened to be there too. But I literally, before all of this, ran into Diane maybe one other time. So because I was in a discord with Diane, I'm evil. That doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't add up. And I
Right.
wanted to
I've
share
been
it.
in Discord with her too. It doesn't mean we're evil or we view things the same way she does. We are
Right.
our own people. We don't need to be grouped together with Diane just because we've been in a Discord, just because we've, donated to her channel or we supported her at one point.
Right.
And I feel like, people are out for blood.
That's what it feels like. It feels like someone's going to get hurt before this ends, and that scares me.
Yeah. And you know what? I've been saying that for a long time. I've been saying this community is getting worse and something really bad is going to happen to someone. And I don't want to see that happen to anyone, even if I like them or not. I don't want to see
Right.
that. You know, it, it's not fair. There was someone that was just swatted a few days ago. She didn't deserve that.
No, she didn't.
And it's
I
it's
mean, and
getting
I remember
worse.
saying it. I remember saying it when Corey was going through that stuff, like literally poking her to the point of her like having mental breakdowns. And I know that Corey does hold some responsibility to that, but I always felt like what happens when she hurts herself? Like, how are we gonna feel? What is our responsibility in that? And I feel the same way, vice versa. If I have to feel that way, if I feel that way about Corey, I have to feel that way about Diane. Like, she's a human being at the end of the day, regardless of, let's just assume what everybody's saying is true. It's $300,000. She's kept it all. She's been living this lavish lifestyle. Let's assume that's all true for a second. Is she still not a human being? Even in the worst court, she would go to jail, but she wouldn't be put to death. Like, what? So what do we want to see happen here? And what do we have control over?
Right.
It just feels dirty.
It does. And, you know, there's another community out there that's literally now saying, if you support Diane or this person or that person, we're going to dox you. And I've seen these doxes in this person's
Right.
community post, and that's absolutely disgusting.
It is. It really, really is.
And it's not fair to the people. They don't deserve that. And even Diane doesn't deserve that. People are so fixated on finding out who she is and what she looks like. What does that have to do with the things that she's done or supposedly done? Why are people trying to figure out what she really looks like?
So I have this constant battle within myself because I have a deep found respect for true crime and their ability to be in groups where they find things out and try to solve crimes. So if I'm going to just try to get in that mindset for a second and assume that they think that Diane is a case and that she's done all these horrible things and that's what they do, even true crime in most places, it's done in one setting. It's not set out for, and it's in a group and it's in a private group. It's not set out for anybody to fall on and see. So you kind of
Right.
have a little bit of control about who's getting the information that you're giving out. It's doxing, but it's not doxing on a broad scale. But when you put this shit on YouTube, you have no idea who's going to see it. You have no idea who it's going to come across.
Yeah.
And it can lead to really dangerous things, and I just don't think that people are thinking about that. If for a second I'm going to subscribe to the belief that true crime is doing an okay thing, which that's not what I believe, but just for a second, if I was going to subscribe to that, I would have to say that even in a regular case, like everybody's talking about the Cecil Hotel in Elisa Lam, even in that case where there was a lot of internet um, uh, dealings, that was all done in a closed setting with people in groups and forums. Not everybody could see that information. Sure, anybody could join the forum, but it was sort of controlled. You know what I mean? And it's not
Mm-hmm.
controlled on YouTube, and that feels dirty. It feels dangerous.
Yeah, and you know what? Innocent people are at risk because I've seen like 5 different pictures that people think are Diane, and not all of them can be Diane. People are
Mm-hmm.
assuming that it's Diane when it's not. So these people are potentially putting these people in danger by assuming
Right.
that it's her.
Right.
And that's got to stop, you know?
Right. I agree. I agree. I mean, I don't know what else I can do about it except for report it, but it doesn't even seem like YouTube cares about that.
No, they
I
sure
do
don't.
know that if you long form something, like let's say I saw someone who was being doxxed, I can long form it, but if I'm not the person that's being doxxed, it doesn't matter. It doesn't go anywhere. So I don't know what else to do. But I mean, I'm going to keep speaking out against it. Now, I've already said everything I need to say about Diane and what I think she should do and how I think she should handle this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and what I'm going to do going forward. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to dislike or fall out of friendship with or fight with or argue with anybody who decides to do the opposite of me or the same thing as me. I'm just speaking for me and what I feel. Um, and then thinking about the bad behaviors that I see are sort of trickling down off of this. And it seems like it feels like because people think Diane did something wrong, that um, they now have permission to do wrong things, and I can't. That just doesn't sound right to me. It doesn't. make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense to me either. And Anastasia, you know, Anastasia says nobody really knows if Diane is even her name. People really do need to stop because her name might not even be Diane. Okay, so let's say her name isn't Diane. What do you what's going to come of that? Like, why are you, I literally seen someone say in a chat the other day that Diane is using her deceased sister's identity. Why are you guys digging so much? What are you going to prove?
Yeah, I honestly, I don't know. I don't, what do you hope to find with that kind of stuff?
Right. Like, I mean, what at the end of the day, what's that going to prove? And why are you even mentioning her deceased sister? Do you guys understand how disrespectful that is?
You know, when we get tunnel vision about things, like we believe, this is why I thought it was dangerous that people who don't like Diane for one reason or the other were sort of spearheading this thing, is because they already had a belief about the kind of person Diane was.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to look for any information to fill in that belief and support that belief. And
Right.
you know, cops do it a lot when they think that they have someone who's done a crime and they think that that's the person. They're going to look for evidence that supports that person did the crime. They're not going to look for the truth. And that's what I think is happening here. It's like we believe that Diane is this kind of person. Of course she's a bully. Of course she's a bad person. Of course she does all this stuff. So if she's done all that stuff, then yes, she's stolen from St. Jude. It was the same argument that I saw a lot with the whole Tucker situation. Well,
Mm-hmm.
Tucker, he was supposedly a felon and lied about his job and all of this stuff. So, of course, if he did all of that stuff, then he must have stolen from St. Jude. And I can't subscribe to all of that because we've all made mistakes in our past. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I've done a lot of bad stuff in my past, and that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to do bad stuff in my future, you know. And in fact, it means the opposite. I try very hard to be the opposite person of the kind of person I was when I was younger. And so I can't, I don't know, that kind of, that gang mentality just, it's not proof of anything. And
I
I
agree.
don't know,
You
I'm
know,
at a loss for words.
I've done a lot of bad things in my past too, but that doesn't define who I am today. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I just, and I feel like people need to be heard. I feel like people are really hurting here. I wish Diane could see that, but she's not going to see that. I just don't think that doxing her out and putting people in danger, putting people who like her or used to like her, putting those people in danger. I just don't think that that's the way to solve anything. You know what I mean? Like it's just, it's
Oh,
not
I
going to bring
completely
anything but,
agree.
yeah.
It's only going to
So I don't
bring
know.
more drama, and it's only going to bring people more views. And, you know, all these people are so worried about the money that the kids didn't get. But here you guys are bitching about Diane getting all these super chats. Why don't you take those super chats and give them to St. Jude? Since St. Jude is
Right.
what matters the most, take all those super chats and give them to St. Jude's. Gosh.
Yeah, I think there does need to be a conversation about where donors have a responsibility in all of this, and do they get to sort of have control over money that's already been given once it leaves their hands? Do they have any control or say in it? I think that is a conversation for a later time. I don't think now's the time, but I agree with you. Like, if it was really important to you to give to St. Jude, why didn't you just give that to St. Jude? And why did, knowing that 30% of that money was going to go to Google, this big billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar company, why were you going to give them that much money and not give it to
Right.
St. Jude? But I'm not trying to point fingers or victimize donors or anything like that, but I do think that there is a little bit of responsibility to be held there. But that's for a later time. Right now, again, I think people are hurting, And I want those people to be heard, and I want those people to feel some sort of vindication, because when you're violated like that, that can be very triggering, and I don't want those people to feel that way. But I also think that it needs to be done in a healthy way, and we need this pointing fingers and all this other shit isn't isn't the tea. And I don't know how we need to come together, but we do. Like, we need to be open minded to hear from other people, to hear from the quote unquote other sides, and just sort of listen without name calling and doxing and threatening and all this other toxic shit. If we can listen to other people and sort of find some camaraderie and a common ground, I think
Mm-hmm.
maybe that would be a healthier way to do things. Might even find a friend or two out of it that you never thought you would have, like, than just constantly pointing fingers at the other side. That's
Yeah,
not going to
and
get anywhere.
just like Mac 11 said, people are afraid to chat or comment anywhere because,
Right.
people are now afraid of getting doxxed. People are now afraid of their information being looked up. And I'll say it again, if people use an avatar that might be a cartoon or something else, they have the right to their anonymity. I don't care who it is. They have the right to their
Yeah.
anonymity.
Yeah. I agree. Listen, I come from Boyd, where we're all, everybody down there is a troll. So, like, it's not. And I came to YouTube, oh, geez, 10 years ago. I made my YouTube account with my real name, my real picture, never thinking that I was going to fall into a community where people were doxing me and all this other shit. So when I did, if I had it to do all over again, I would make a separate email. I would make a separate account. I would come up with some crafty name, and maybe I would show my face, but most of the time I would stay anonymous, and I wouldn't tell people about my personal life, where I lived, if I was married, if I had children. I just wouldn't do anything like that. So I don't blame people who've done that.
Yeah.
Now, the argument could be made, well, then don't collect a bunch of money in super chats. Well, okay, but you know, uh,
I'm
that's been
with
going on
you.
for a really long time. It's not brand new, you know.
I came from a trolling community probably 6 7 years ago, and oh my
Mm,
gosh, I had no idea that YouTube was the way it was, because not only did all my information come out, not only did my criminal history come out, people made like fake channels of my son using his picture, saying the most
oh
god awful
gosh.
things. And I had no idea back then that, there's certain parts of YouTube that can be so vicious. And
Right.
it's just sad because I see it happening now. And I think it's I don't even have the words, man. I'm
Yeah.
flustered, I'm frazzled, and I'm hurt, because not for myself,
Yeah.
but I'm hurt for everyone else that's now being threatened for their
Right.
information to be put out there, or their mugshots to be put out there. It's not cool. And it doesn't make you look intimidating by doing that. It makes you look like an asshole by putting that information out. You know what I mean?
Right. And it makes me sad for the people who are scared to say anything. That
Yeah.
should never be.
No, people are afraid to comment, and people are afraid to go into chats because, they're going to get judged. And then people are going to start talking about them and trashing them and, possibly doxed. And that's not fair.
Hmm. It's like we've thrown all rules out the window. Gone are the days, if they were ever really around, of I don't care whose chat you go into, or I don't care what you say as long as you don't talk shit about me. Those are gone. Now it's
Mhm.
as, God forbid you show any humanity to someone who's being strung up. You're just a bad person, and I that doesn't feel right to me. I just keep
No,
imagining, like, what if I were in Diane's shoes, um, and I had done it. Let's just assume that I had done it. I would feel very remorseful. I would try to make it right, but I would want as much humanity and love as I could get from people, and it doesn't feel it doesn't feel right, to just be attacking her. Like I don't know what that would solve. I don't know what good it would do. Okay, I've
Well,
said she's wrong, but what am
here's
I supposed to do after that?
right. Well, here's the thing. Diane did tell people, don't defend me, don't defend me. But people wanted to defend her because they believed in her. And then when she
Yeah,
did
but
go
do you also
live,
remember the stream? Do you remember the stream where she was mad that people weren't defending her, or not mad,
yeah,
but disappointed? So that was a mixed message.
it was. And, I really thought when she went live, she could have had more compassion. And I didn't feel any compassion coming
Hmm.
from her or any remorse coming from her when she went live. I
Right.
felt like she was defensive. And I
Agreed.
mean, I kind of understand that in a way, but man, I'm really sad for everything that's transpired over the past few weeks. Like, I really am.
Well, and I can have remorse for the kind of stress that she must have been feeling and why it took her so long. And I was willing to accept that there might be a special reason why she wasn't coming forward. That she might be talking to some legal team, or she might be coming up with the receipts for however many years. I was willing to hear whatever reason she wasn't coming forward was. But once it was that she was scared to come out, I could understand that, but it made me think that she was still being selfish. It was still about her.
Yeah.
And I feel like she doesn't really have that right now, because she did, by her own admission, not do what she said she was going to do with the money, and that hurts people. So once you hurt people, you don't really get to say how that goes, or how you get to make that right, or how that becomes right. You know what I mean? Like, you have some accountability. You and I know this
Hmm.
very well. We have to take accountability for our actions.
Absolutely.
And so she it's almost kind of like she said, yeah, I didn't do what I said I was going to do, and I'm going to control how this all happens, and that doesn't feel right to me, especially when I think about the people who did donate consistently with the belief that that money was going to St. Jude. So
Mac 11, and
I
I
don't want.
agree. I do think that, wait a minute, hold on. Let me get back to this. I felt
Mm-hmm.
Diane sounded crushed in her live. Maybe no one else could hear that and maybe
Mm,
felt differently. Um,
right.
I uh, I think maybe she sounded a little sad talking about certain things, but she was very defensive when it came to the receipts. And I was the one that said from
Mm-hmm.
day one she's not obligated legally to show receipts to people. But I
Right.
don't know. I think this has gotten out of hand, and I think it's disgusting that like hundreds of people have been calling St. Jude's and bugging them, like not just
I
one or two people or 10 people. It's been hundreds of people. Like,
I thought that before Diane came out and said what she said, but now I honestly believe that if you have given money to Diane and you believe that it should have gone to St. Jude, I guess calling St. Jude and reporting that with your proof is really the only thing you can do,
mhm,
because victims need to feel like they have some control, right? They want to have the control back. And I guess that would be the only way to do that, is to report it to the proper authorities, and St. Jude would be the proper authority. So yeah, I guess that would be. So I'm not totally against that. I was
yeah.
when there was nothing to show for it, or when there was no proof. But now that there is proof, or at least a statement from Diane, then I understand it. Um, I don't know. The whole thing is so ugly. And listen, I know that I'm not being totally pro Diane right now. It still doesn't mean I want her head on a spike. I
I
just
am right
want.
there with you.
I
Yep.
Yeah. I just see both sides, and I don't know. It's a really horrible trait I have, but
Well, no, not really, because you care. You do have compassion for how people feel. And like Rosewater said, hurt people should not turn it into a mob or a hate mob. And I agree with
Right.
that. And I think that there's a
I
lot
do
of
too.
people that has turned this into a hate mob. And it,
Yeah.
it's gotten the attention of Repsion. Oh my gosh.
I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah. I
He's
was
got
like, oh
almost a million
boy.
subs.
Yeah.
I know. That's heavy. That's heavy. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want.
I don't I don't know either. I just, I'm sad. And then, it's
Yeah.
mixed with mad too, because I don't
Yeah.
see why, other people are being blamed for her actions. Other
Right.
people didn't know. Therefore, they should not be threatened with being doxxed or having certain things put out about them. That's
Right.
intimidation. You're trying to intimidate them because they don't agree with the way you agree. No.
Right.
Oh,
And I'm a very spiritual person, so I'm the kind of person that would like counsel the murderer or something like that if they were looking for remorse. And I don't want people to just go on these hate campaigns and um, start calling out people who are still talking to Diane or who are still showing Diane compassion or who are still showing Diane love, because Diane is a human being. Despite what
yes.
you believe, despite whatever you think she's done or hasn't done, she's still a human being. She's still worthy of love and compassion.
Yep.
And you don't know what they're saying privately. I know a lot of people who have been holding Diane's feet to the fire and saying, you know, it's not right what you're doing. They're just not doing it publicly. So I would just encourage you to keep your focus on the situation at hand, the facts at hand. And if you are someone who feels violated or hurt, try to go through the right channels. And I think just talk about it. Talk about it as much as you want. I hear people who say, "Oh, I'm sick of hearing about it," and then I hear people who say, um, "No, I want to talk about it some more." And they're both right. You know what I mean? They're both right.
Mm-hmm.
We all have our own paths and different ways of getting at things, and we're just going to talk about it till we're not anymore.
And
So,
Remy, I think she might sound cold because she's mad that so many people have like taken this and ran with it and accused her of the most vicious, vile things that they had no proof of. You know, they didn't have proof until she came out and said what she said, but people labeled her as this or that just because they didn't like her. And just like other
mhm.
channels, they wanted her to be guilty of this because they did not like her. Hey,
Yeah,
Stuart.
and it still stands to reason for me that if you believe Diane when she says she didn't give all of the money, then you have to believe her that she did give some of the money. That, um, along with people who have witnessed that they saw some receipts, um, that some receipts have been shown for as early as a year ago. We have to
Mm-hmm.
believe that some money has gone to St. Jude. It's just not all of the money, which was a lie because that's what she was telling people. And so it's in my opinion that Diane needs to be accountable for that.
Right.
It's not good enough for me to say, well, I gave some money to St. Jude or the money that people said were supposed to go to St. Jude. It's not good enough for me because you told everybody that 100% of it was going to St. Jude.
Well, yeah,
You know what
and
I
I
mean?
feel,
So,
yeah, absolutely. And I feel bad for Wendy because here she was thinking
mm,
the whole time that her portion was going to St. Jude, you
right,
know,
right.
and come to find out it
Yeah,
wasn't. So Wendy did have a right to be upset, and she did have a right to go live and voice her opinion on it and, say that she didn't agree with what happened. And it's okay for her to have an opinion and to believe in her truths.
right. And to tell her story, like
Yeah.
I think there is something to be said for some of the responsibility that she has there. And I don't even think she realizes it right now. Like, um, I heard the timeline of 3 years. So if she was on panel for 3 years, surely there is some responsibility that she needs to take for not asking questions for this long. But that's really where her responsibility ends. Like, if she's really believing that she's washed her hands of any income that she could possibly get and that it's all going to St. Jude, and really, what more do you want from her? Okay, she didn't ask for receipts, but I'm sitting on panel with you, and if you got a super chat, I wouldn't be saying, "Hey, Sarah, I need 50% of that." You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't. That's not really how YouTube works a lot of the time, and so I'm just not. I'm not so quick to jump on this campaign of Wendy's guilty or Wendy did something horribly wrong. You know what I mean? She might be negligent, but truthfully, we all were negligent. We all should have been saying, "Hey, are there any receipts for this month?" You know what I
Right.
mean? So I don't know.
It's a
But
sad
I do feel that
situation.
it is. I do feel that Diane was. She wasn't very humble. I didn't like the comment about when someone had mentioned to her that people were getting doxxed and stuff, and she was like, "Well, do you think that's the worst thing that happened?" That did not sit right with me because you can feel bad for yourself and for other people too. It's not a
Right.
contest about who got doxxed the worst. Um, but I think that I have to give her a little forgiveness because she's going through this on a first person scenario. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking at it
Mm-hmm.
on the outside looking in. I'm not dealing with it. So I'm going to give her a little grace as far as not doing what I think she should or whatever. But I don't know. I think that hopefully Diane will hear some of this talk and come correct. That's the best I can hope for.
Oh, hey,
And
there's one win.
I'm here if I can answer questions. And that's really it.
Yeah.
But I thank you so much for letting me hop on your panel. It's the first time I think I've been on your panel.
Yes, and I thank you for coming up. I have a lot of love for you, Shauna, and I think you're a
Oh, ditto, ditto.
I do. I think you're a great lady, and I love what you're about. You've always had nothing but nice things to say, and I appreciate you for that. I mean, you even came to my defense when Dave was doxing me and going after me. And,
Yeah.
I've got a lot of love for you. I really do.
Oh, thank you. And ditto. I love what you and your husband do when you're talking about recovery. And I don't know, it just makes me, because I know a lot of people have that story and they're not wanting to share it. So it makes me feel really good that you're providing a safe place. Good morning,
Well, thank
Wendy.
you. Yeah,
So yeah.
I don't want to threaten people. I don't want to be mean to people. I used to do a lot of videos on Laura making fun of her, and I don't want to do that anymore. Like, I just want to have a
Yeah.
place where we can all conversate and talk about things, and talk about the community or even real life outside of YouTube. I change is good, and
Yeah. Yeah.
so,
I know it's hard because a lot of people like loyalty. This is like why Miss fucking Wonderful and I never got along, and I will never be loyal to anybody but myself. So
mhm.
if you consider me your friend, you have to expect that maybe I would do it privately, like if we were best friends, but that I'm going to call you out on some bad behavior that I see, and some people look at that as very disloyal, like that we should be ride or die for each other, and I've just never been that kind of person. So I know that like with someone like Laura, that doesn't really wash well, but I don't have any hate for Laura. I don't like her doxing, and so I call that out. But I've definitely never been on anybody's hate train
Yeah, I don't
for
hate Laura
anybody.
either.
So
I dislike her, but I don't hate her. I don't
yeah,
have enough hate
yeah,
in my heart to hate anyone. And I
right.
don't know, I'm just I don't know. I'm sad, and I kind of wanted to just come live and express how I'm feeling, and I'm so glad that you
I'm glad you
came up,
did.
and yeah, I'm glad you came up and kind of helped me out with this because you had a lot of good things to say, and I appreciate you for that.
Well, thanks. And if I could just encourage you to keep going live because we need a place to go. Like we do. We've lost you know, some of us have lost a couple of places to go. And so I know that you're a good place to go and people feel comfortable talking. And I'm just going to encourage everybody, you, the truth, Mandolin, anybody that I see all the time who doesn't mind going live, I'm going to encourage them to go live as much as they feel comfortable with. And
Yeah.
maybe we talk about this and maybe we talk about makeup and maybe we talk about Joe Bob from down the street, but at least we're communing and we're getting it out and we're talking to another human being, maybe, I don't know, a couple times a week or something, you know?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to chop off. Thank you
All
very
right,
much again, and
darling.
I'll see you in the side chats.
Thank you for
Bye.
coming up. I appreciate you.
Thanks.
Okay, guys.
You
I
too.
think I'm going to jump off too. It's been over an hour, but I hope I didn't offend anybody by the things that I was saying, but it's things on my heart. It's, you know, how I view things. Maybe not everybody views things the way I do. It doesn't have to turn into a fight, or it doesn't have to turn into doxing or this or that, you know. I think we all have the right to our opinions. You know what I mean? And I just think that this community can heal if we can just stop the doxing, stop the threats of real life with CPS, cops, or even animal control. Jeez, oh, Pete, Lord. And I wish all that shit would stop. And I wish the showing of private conversations would stop. This community is not going to heal until we stop doing that. You know, I might not agree with Diane and the things she's done, but I don't agree with people being obsessed with trying to figure out who she is, or, you know, following her to this place or that place, or finding old stuff that she said in the past. What's that going to do for the here and now? How is that going to help your crusade with St. Jude by finding things that she said from years ago? I don't know. That's just my opinion. Doll Factory, I love you. Sandy, Shauna, Samantha, I love all you guys. And I really appreciate you guys for, you know, coming in and believing in me and, you know, caring enough to listen to what I have to say. I really appreciate you for that. And one, I'm never going to support doxing. I've stood against it for years. I'm not going to change my mind about that. And you know what? One, that's why people have so much respect for you, because you've always stood your ground on that, and you've never ever, you know, doxed anybody. You've never tried to cause harm to anybody. So with all that being said, I'm going to jump off here, and I hope you guys have a great day. It's really snowy here, so I might go and try to convince my son to make a snowman with me. So, okay, you guys, polyester jumpers, thank you so much for the super chat. I adore you, darling. Okay, guys, I'm out. Have a good day.